Who would win in a fight between Wolverine and Stormfront? It's easy to think Wolverine might be outmatched by Stormfront's devastating lightning strikes and flight. Could a simple clawed mutant really stand a chance against such overwhelming power? Or would Wolverine's raw rage and unbreakable adamantium claws turn the tide? In this video, we're diving into an electrifying showdown where we'll see just how far each of them is willing to go. Prepare for unexpected twists, brutal combat, and one victor who will prove that power isn't always enough to win. Stick around. You won't want to miss this. Wolverine, or Logan, as he's known to some, is a mutant whose history is as mysterious as it is tragic. Born with retractable bone claws and an accelerated healing factor, Logan's abilities were amplified when his skeleton was bonded with a near-indestructible metal alloy, adamantium. This transformation turned him into a living weapon, capable of surviving almost any injury and dealing out lethal damage with his claws. But Wolverine's true strength lies not just in his physical capabilities, but in his indomitable will. He's a survivor, shaped by wars, loss, and the feral instincts that drive him. His berserker rage can turn the tide of any battle, making him as unpredictable as he is dangerous. Yet, this rage is also a weakness, clouding his judgment and sometimes leading him into traps laid by those who understand how to exploit his emotional scars. Stormfront, on the other hand, is a force of nature. Literally. With the ability to manipulate electricity, she can generate powerful lightning strikes, fly at incredible speeds, and unleash destructive energy blasts. Her powers make her a formidable opponent, capable of leveling cities if she so desires. But it's not just her superhuman abilities that make her dangerous. It's her twisted worldview. Stormfront is a product of a dark past, imbued with a supremacist ideology that drives her to seek dominance over those she considers inferior. This belief system makes her ruthless, merciless, and cunning. However, Stormfront's overconfidence and belief in her own superiority often blind her to the resilience of those she deems beneath her, leading her to underestimate opponents like Wolverine. The clash between Wolverine and Stormfront was inevitable. A collision of raw power and unyielding will against sheer destructive force and arrogance. The setting was perfect for such a confrontation, a desolate, storm-ridden landscape, crackling with electricity and brimming with tension. Wolverine approached with his usual quiet intensity, his senses alert to every flicker of lightning in the sky. Stormfront, hovering above the ground, sneered down at him, her eyes glowing with the power coursing through her. She unleashed a barrage of lightning, each bolt crackling with lethal intent. But Wolverine's reflexes, honed over decades of combat, were sharp. He dodged and weaved through the onslaught, closing the distance between them with a speed that caught Stormfront off guard. When their initial clash came, it was a brutal exchange. Stormfront blasted Wolverine with a concentrated burst of energy, sending him sprawling. His flesh seared, his body smoking from the electricity coursing through him. But before she could celebrate her victory, Wolverine was already on his feet, his healing factor repairing the damage in seconds. With a feral snarl, he lunged, claws outstretched, and slashed through the air. Stormfront blocked him with an energy shield, but Wolverine's adamantium claws were relentless, cutting through the barrier with sheer brute force. Her eyes widened in surprise. This was not the weakling she had expected. Yet, she still underestimated him. The battle raged on, with Stormfront trying to keep her distance, using her speed and flight to avoid Wolverine's claws. But Logan was relentless, driven by the rage that made him unstoppable. He knew that a direct hit from her lightning could fry his nervous system, possibly killing him. But he also knew that he could take more punishment than any other being alive, and that was his advantage. Stormfront, growing frustrated, decided to end it with one final, massive lightning strike. She gathered her power, the sky darkening as she drew on the storm around her. But in that moment, she made her fatal mistake. She underestimated Wolverine's resilience. With a roar, Wolverine leaped into the air, his claws gleaming in the flash of lightning. As Stormfront unleashed her full power, he slashed through the energy, pushing through the pain as his body burned, his healing factor barely keeping him alive. But he didn't stop. He couldn't stop. In a move that shocked even Stormfront, Wolverine reached her. His claws, driven by the force of his jump and the rage within him, pierced her armor and struck true. The energy dissipated, and for the first time, Stormfront felt fear. She was powerful, but she wasn't invincible. Wolverine's claws tore through her, ending the battle in a heartbeat. As she fell, the storm abated, and Logan stood victorious, his body charred, but his spirit unbroken. He had won not just because of his strength, but because of his unyielding will, a will that even the most destructive forces could not overcome. In the end, the lesson was clear. True power isn't just about the ability to destroy, it's about the resolve to endure, to fight, and to never give up, no matter the odds. And that is why Wolverine emerged as the victor in this epic showdown.